everybody. My name is Allison, and this is episode 0 of Zero Heroes, a podcast where we're going to be talking about comic books, but not superheroes. I'm a person who loves comic books. I've been reading comic books for a couple of years now, and I love superheroes. I read all sorts of superhero books, but in the last couple months, maybe even the last year, I've noticed I've been reading fewer comic books, in part because the medium is so dominated by the one genre, and when I've just gotten a little bit tired of that genre, I haven't, my whole reading habit has just fallen off completely. So this is going to be a podcast about trying to love comic books and trying to broaden horizons a little bit. My own, hopefully yours too. I hope this podcast can be a place for thoughtful discussions for people who love comic books, for people who love superheroes, for people who hate superheroes, and for people who are kind of in between on them. This is not a place where I'm just going to be dunking on superheroes. It's just a place where we want to have discussions about fun books. So to talk about the format of the show as I see it right now, and I want to stress up at the top that I think the format is going to be pretty flexible as we try to figure it out. I want it to be a very collaborative thing with the various guests I have on the show. So yeah, that's the place to start, is that hopefully on every episode we can have different guests or repeat guests, but I don't think I don't think it is a set in stone. Allie and Joe Blow are hosting every episode. I want to have a lot of different people on the show to talk about a lot of different books that they're passionate about. I kind of think of myself hopefully moving into a producer role as the show goes on, and hopefully, I don't even have to be on every episode, but that's way down in the future. For right now, the host is to get me, another person, maybe a third person, to talk about a book that they love once a month? ? This has been the biggest thing I'm trying to figure out. I think to begin with, we're going once a month, and if it seems feasible, I definitely am interested in going bi-weekly. I don't know that there's ever going to be a time where this is a weekly podcast, but who knows? But yeah, that's kind of the loose format of the show, and yeah, my biggest hope is that it can be a very collaborative effort between myself, and if you're listening to this episode 0, you're probably a friend of mine, and you probably are more than welcome to say, hey, Allie, I just heckin' love. I wanted to say All-Star Superman, and we cannot talk about All-Star Superman on this show. I heckin' love Giant Days. Let me come on the show and talk about Giant Days, which, hey, that's a perfect segue. Another thing I want to touch on. First book that we're going to be doing on the show is Giant Days, Volume 1. Let me pull the credits up here real quick. Just gonna vamp a little bit. Giant Days was created and written by John Allison, illustrated by Lisa Treyman, colors by Whitney Koger, letters by Jim Campbell. So yeah, Giant Days is a wonderful little book. I want to say it's all ages. A lot of books published by Boom are all ages, but I'm not 100% on that. It might be rated T for teen, and not in the there's violence in this way, but in the Giant Days is a story about college freshmen who are on their own for the first time, and sex and drinking do show up in it, but it is a very lighthearted, funny book. There's a lot of warmth in Giant Days, and I'm really excited to talk about it. I don't want to announce co-hosts just yet because I'm figuring out a third person. I know the second person, and I'm figuring out a third, but that's going to be very fun. I'm hoping to put that up in the next week or two, and then from there, I don't know, talking about doing Nimona, there's a couple manga I have in mind, a couple webcomics I have in mind. It's all very flexible, and I hope that if you're listening to this, we can get you on the show once or twice or 4 times. I hope that this is a thing that I do together with other people, and I'm excited about it. I hope you're excited about it. Was there anything else I needed to touch on? Oh, very briefly, with regard to Giant Days, there's 2 things I want to say. If you go to humblebundle.com right now, there is a sale. You can get the first volume of Giant Days for $1. I just put in $15 into the sale. I got a lot of books, a lot of things I'm very excited to hopefully talk about on the show. Some things I have read, some things I haven't read. Teen Dog is going to show up on this at some point. I hope Backstagers is going to show up at some point, but I haven't read that yet. but it looks very cute. Lumberjanes, that's a very good sale. The other thing I want to say, a lot of people don't know how good libraries are, and I really want to stress that for the show. Your local public library, if you have access to one, will be a stunningly good resource. If you don't go to your library regularly, you are not prepared for how good of a resource your local public library is going to be. I promise you, I have lived in 3 towns, and all of them have had excellent libraries. I'm about to move to a new one, and I'm already excited to learn all about their libraries. And in fact, a lot of libraries now are offering this service called Hoopla. With your library card, you sign up and you can get all sorts of digital media like audiobooks, movies, Kindle books, and comic books. Hoopla has just about everything from every major publisher in the US. You've got your Marvel, DC, IDW, Dark Horse, Boom, Image. Every major US publisher, as far as I know, has stuff on Hoopla. I know a couple Japanese publishers do. I don't know how many European publishers do, but I think Hoopla is the only reason that I am doing this show, because Hoopla has allowed for me to expand my horizons quite a bit before I even started this. Check it out. Check out your local library. Check out this Humble Bundle, because there's just a lot of very good stuff here. I think a lot of the stuff in the Humble Bundle is all ages, and this show is not going to be exclusively like an all ages show, but I'm hoping that we can get a lot of lighthearted content. So yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Allison_Coffee, ALISON_COFFEE. You can find the show on Twitter at Zero Heroes Cast, I believe. You can tell that I am in a very early figuring this all out stage, because there is not a profile picture on that account yet. There will be very soon, and it will be something I made in MS Paint. I need to find someone to commission for podcast art or something. I also have figured out music for the podcast, and so I very quickly wanted to thank A New Low for the use of her track Jazz. You can find it at anewlow.bandcamp.com, and she also has a SoundCloud page, soundcloud.com/a_new_low. I really love her music. I've been listening to it for a couple months now. Very, very good stuff. That's what you're hearing right now. Jazz! Exclamation question mark. And is that it? Oh, and you can email the show at zeroheroescast@gmail.com. Hope you have enjoyed me doing a rambly little intro. Hopefully there's something in here that's got you excited. If you want to be in the show, literally do get in touch. Yeah. That's what I gotta say. I don't have a sign-off for the show, so I'm just gonna steal one from my other podcast, White Lotus Radio, and say, keep it flameo. Bye.